This phone that you are looking right now is the first ever Samsung Galaxy S, the phone that started the flagship lineup from Samsung. This phone's released in 2010 along with the most anticipated iPhone 4. And even with a pretty good competition from Apple, Samsung had record sales numbers for S1 with around 25 million units sold around the globe. So obviously, this phone is a huge hit for Samsung. But why is it? Simple. It provided a lot of things that were completely missing at that time. First of all, it had an AMOLED display. Think about it, AMOLED in 2010. Not only that, it has autofocus mode, dedicated graphic chipset, Gorilla Glass protection, ARDP, that is Advanced Audio Distribution Profile for high quality audio signal, and it even supported Qualcomm aptX. Okay, this is all great, but even this phone faced several challenges when launched. First thing as mentioned, this was launched with an AMOLED panel, but due to the lack of availability of the tech at that time, the company had to pull back AMOLED and ship with LCD panels. Also, seeing the success of S1, Samsung wanted to keep the model running, also giving a fresh feel every time. So they released multiple models with very minimal changes, but this turned out to be very confusing. For example, Galaxy Proclaim, Galaxy Showcase, Galaxy Vibrant 4G, all these are different models under Samsung Galaxy S1. Nonetheless, this phone was very popular for Samsung. Now talking about my experience, this is a 4-inch device, and when compared to my current device which is 6.55 inches, this is a 63% smaller phone. And that's the first thing I noticed. It felt a little awkward holding a smaller phone, but I quickly got adjusted to it. And after a day, it actually felt really good to carry this phone around as this is really pocket friendly. It doesn't weigh much, and as far as the display is concerned, it's AMOLED. And to accept the fact, I liked the design. I mean the way this phone looks. It has 3 nostalgic buttons and a company branding on the front, all of which I really miss. But one thing I find really irritating using these older phones is the speaker placement. It's placed at the back. It's never an ideal place, and I still remember I used to keep my phone like this near the wall just to make it sound louder. Now on the performance side, it's very hard to use. I can't think of any scenario except a fun little experiment like this one. But it was not always like this. This actually was a very well spec'd phone that time. 1 GHz Hummingbird chipset with PowerVR GPU, 16 GB internal memory with 512 MB RAM, 5 megapixel rear camera, and a 1500 mAh cell. Okay, also while using this phone, I did notice something. This, a hole for thread holders. If you have used any smartphone that time, there used to be these threads that hold the smartphone. But as time passed, they were slowly gone out of existence, and I'm actually glad that they did. Now let's talk about the UI. This phone runs on TouchWiz UI, and I actually used to love TouchWiz because of its functionality, even if it lags. But looking at it now, it feels quite old. It is still working well without much hiccups. Okay, moving on, we have cameras. So I don't think I have anything to talk here. I mean, look at it. It's pretty bad, and comparing to today's standards, these don't cope up. And finally, the battery. It has a 1500 mAh cell, and it doesn't last more than 2 to 3 hours. I had to charge it at least 5 times a day just to keep it on. I know I cannot compare these numbers with the figures of S1's battery directly. It's a pretty old battery that I have. So people, that's pretty much it about this review. Hope you guys loved it, and if you did, hit that like button, and I will talk to you in my next video.